The No Fade channel, checking in. Today I am running the Feaster 5 Thanksgiving Day Turkey Trot here in Andover, Massachusetts. If you're not familiar with this race, let me just give you just a bit of background. It is one of the biggest Thanksgiving Day road races across the country. It has over 10,000 occupants. To give you perspective on that, the biggest race I have ever run over all of the years that I've been running was like 3,500, and that was like the Bay State Half Marathon, 3,500. 10,000 runners is an absolute madhouse. I am excited to see how crazy it is, how packed the starting line is. This is the first race as part of my big year. If you have been subscribed to the channel and you've been watching religiously, then you know this year, birthday to birthday, I am doing a big year where I just absolutely say yes to everything. So when I got the chance to do this Feaster 5 road race, I just simply said yes, without thinking about any type of coordination, about the weather, about whether I was prepared or not. I just said yes. I didn't know if I should do the 5K version or the 5-mile version. One of my subscribers, Peter, said, do the 5-mile version. So shame on you, Peter. You signed me up for the 5-mile version. Part of this big year and saying yes to everything is not waiting for the perfect time. So often, you and me, we wait for the perfect weather, we wait for the perfect opportunity, we wait for the perfect coordination, and we wait for others to kind of join the exciting things that we want to do. And the reality is that perfect time is never going to happen. So that's why this year, as part of my big year, is just to say yes to as many things as possible, even when it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be right. It's not going to even be close to perfect. Here we are sitting in my car shooting this video. It is pouring rain out. As soon as I step outside, I'm going to be drenched. But so what? I'm here. I'm excited. I'm ready to have some fun. And I am dressed up in Mr. Incredible's costume. It came down to Santa Claus. It came down to a Speedo. And it came down to Mr. Incredible's costume. And I think I went with the right choice, especially in this weather. And frankly, no one wants to see me in a Speedo. I mean, they got to eat Thanksgiving dinner later on. About 12 minutes before the start, I am as warmed up as I am ever going to be, and people are forming up on the race line now, so I'm going to go get in there and get my spot. Here goes nothing. So I finished the race, and looking back at some of the footage from the GoPro camera, two things happened. One, I think a lot of the footage was actually too high because I had the camera too high on my forehead. And two, I think I hit the shut off button when I meant to hit the start button going into the finish line. So I don't think I got any of myself crossing the finish line. Regardless, it was an awesome race, a really fun event. My watch time said 36 minutes and 4 seconds, much better than I was anticipating. My hands almost never warmed up until like the very last mile. They finally warmed up, even though the weather itself turned out pretty good. The wind died down, the rain stopped right before the start line, and it just kept warming up throughout the race. So overall, a very, very good weather race, regardless of how cold it was to begin with. Crossing the finish line, you don't get a beer, you don't get a medal, you get a beautiful loaf of bread and an apple pie. Now, I have never seen a table with so many apple pies on them. Over 8,000 apple pies all in one spot. I'm gonna bring this home to the wife because I think if I start eating it now, she would be upset. Overall, a really well-run event. So many people in the race. The course itself was completely clear of traffic, well mapped out with so many people, it's hard to get lost. And 2 water stops for the 5-mile. For those of you who are interested in the race, just a couple quick caveats. First and foremost, you do not finish and start in the same spot. So if you're thinking or looking for a place to park, I would say park towards the finish line. That way, when you're done, you don't have to walk like I did back to my vehicle. And if you're not familiar with the area, you could get a little bit lost. Number 2, the difference between the 5-mile and the 5K, both races start at the same spot, they finish at the same spot, you run the first mile together, and then the 5 mile goes to the right, and then the 5K goes to the left, and towards the end you kind of match back up. Walkers are allowed, and even though there was no beer and medal, I'm excited about the bread and the apple pie. On top of that, the zip-up hoodie that they gave in terms of, like, instead of a t-shirt, was really good quality and something that I'm definitely going to hold on to for a while and certainly use for a while, and I think probably a much better option than a medal and just simply a t-shirt that tends to, you know, get you about one season. Overall, I'm glad I signed up. I'm glad I did the 5 mile versus the 5K. Even though there was a ton of people, it wasn't that congested. If you're a runner, if you're looking to get a good time, the congestion portion of it in terms of pinch points, not that many. So excited that I finished it, a little bummed in terms of the footage, but hey, that's what happens when you have a camera strapped to your head as opposed to just being behind the camera and seeing what you're actually shooting. If you've come this far in the video, hey man, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing so much stuff this year. It's my big year. We're saying yes to as many things as possible, regardless of how bad the video footage is that I'll be taking of it. We're going to try to cover it and get it done. If you came this far in the video, you know what to do. Give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. If you have any questions regarding the Feaster 5 mile or the Feaster 5K or any type of turkey trot, hey, drop them in the comments below and I will try to answer them. As usual, thank you for watching, and don't save anything for the trip back. I am dedicated to helping you dads be great parents to your children and still accomplish your own personal goals. I post tips and tricks to save you dads time, energy, and money. 3 things that are in short supply for every dad out there.